What's up, everyone? Drew, aka Catching Rockets here. I hope y'all had a good day today. Just an FYI, this is going to be a little bit of a quicker video. Shorty's going to be live at 9 p.m. Eastern, so in about an hour. Also, just FYI, you're probably going to hear my son playing drums. So, there he goes. All right. So, yeah, Spy, I don't know, were these wicks accurate? Or are these misprints? Because that looks crazy. This was our open. If you didn't go long here or grab calls here, like we mentioned, then I guess this was your retest to grab calls. You would have been, you would have had a little bit of drawdown before it ran. Puts, again, I don't know if these wicks are real. If they are, then this worked out at least one time, I guess, if that's real. It would have been really hard, though, if that's a 5-minute candle to open and close that quickly. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Are we sure those drop downs are real? Because it just doesn't seem realistic. They would show on ES, right? And I feel like they're misprints, but again, I don't know. And I wasn't watching today. I didn't trade today. I don't see it on ES. I don't think they're real. I think they're misprints. Which would explain why the contracts didn't change, because it didn't happen. I think. I could be wrong. They look like misprints to me, and it doesn't look like it actually happened. I don't see it on ES. Which this just doesn't make sense. I think it's misprints. Anyway, so like I said, we're going to crank through this really quick. I'm a little bit disappointed. Trump just spoke. Futures are already up from the close. The only reason I'm disappointed about that is I do have an option set up for you guys, but depending on where we open, this could be invalidated. Things are looking kind of overall bullish from what I've seen so far going into tomorrow. I looked through a bunch of setups. The only one that I saw that I liked is FSLR. Over 166.55, grab calls. First trim, 170. And then close at 172. They're probably targeting this, filling this gap. But we have a strong high here, and I want to get out before we get up to there. All right, so that's my one option set up for tomorrow. Yeah, I really, I don't think those wicks are real, but I could be wrong. All right, so let's chart up SPY really quick. Again, I'm gonna crank through this today. And with that said, I won't be deleting my entire chart. I do want to do that, and I do need to do that. I just have to find a day when I actually have time to do it. All right. Session volume profile, 30 minutes. For people that might be wondering, I did a bunch of stretching today for my leg. It does feel better, but still hurts. So we can draw SIGs on the last 2 days. So let's do that. Can you guys hear the drums? I'm curious. I don't think it's insanely loud, but my mic might be picking it up like louder than what it is. All right, so our previous day value area high, second sig, third sig are all literally exactly the same level. So you probably want to combine all three of those. I'm not going to for my chart, but I don't trade off of this chart. So, all right, and then TPO. I mean, I'm going to turn it on, but we have a single prints and a poor high. All right, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys something. So today, um, according to JP Morgan, retail traders aggressively bought the dip this morning, purchasing 4.1 billion worth of US stocks by 12:30 p.m., marking the largest intraday retail inflow on record. That's crazy. We've got to be like deep in greed on the fear and greed index, right? When you guys are charting, I would recommend kind of just looking at the same things I look at, right? The more retail's being greedy, the more likely that there's going to be some kind of a rug pull, right? Um, Hopefully, you guys know not to buy the tops. Um, this is where, again, like it's kind of iffy. So today we had good volume. This is no matter how you look at it, this is a bullish close, right? And then we're already above the close right now. So like if we're looking at SPY, we're at 196 right now. So they're already up like a point after the close, right? But this is, I mean, we're in a big area, right? This is either make new highs or sell off from here. As of right now, like it looks like, yeah, Rudy, I don't think those wicks are real. I already talked about it, but if you look at ES, those wicks are not present. They're not here. They only show up on SPY. I think these are misprints, but I could be wrong. Um, Again, I mean, I don't know. We've kind of been talking about this. Like, they're at a spot where Very possible for a reversal. Also, very possible for them to make new all-time highs. The only issue that we're having right now is the monthly top cloud we're in, and it's very closed. I know this doesn't mean anything to you guys, but I'm not going to teach it because you don't have access to these clouds. But when they're closed like this, when we come up to them, we'll generally reject pretty hard, right? And so to me, I mean, they could come all the way up to the top of this, so 608 before they reject. So I mean, it's a big range right now that we still could go up higher, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to be going higher. Um, so Jack, dark pool doesn't show up on charts. That's the whole point of dark pool. Is that order? Those orders don't show up on the charts. What's up, Black Rose? Um, yeah, and Krista. So, or to everybody, um, people mentioned that the contract prices didn't change when those wicks happened. If those wicks were real and they weren't misprints, then the contract prices 100% would have changed. You would have seen like a massive, um, drop in price or whatever really quickly, and then it would, rip back up if they were real. But since they're, again, I'm not saying this with 100% certainty, but I'm pretty sure they're not real. If they were real, we would have seen that price fluctuation on option contracts. And from what people are saying, that didn't happen. Um, Shorty would be a better person to ask, but I'm pretty sure he would say the same thing, that these are misprints and that they're not real. If you look at another charting platform and you see these wicks, then it's legit. But if it's just on TradingView, then it's not real. I can look at Webull really quick. Let's see. Even though I hate Webull charts. See, I can't even tell if I'm on a 5-minute. They're on Webull as well. Yeah, so maybe they are legit. I don't know. It seems weird. Um, anyway, as of right now, things are looking very bullish, but they could just go, and make new highs and then sell off overnight. Like we could open down. Not very likely, but it is possible. Let's look at news really quick. I think trying to figure out what we're going to do tomorrow is going to be a little bit rough. So this is going to move the market an hour before the open. CPI month over month, year over year, trimmed year over year, common year over year. And then at night after the close, CPI year over year in England. A lot of news on Thursday. All right. I don't love it. Um, That's crazy heavies. Red nucleus. I think the best way to do it is like looking at footprint charts. I mean, that's for futures though. So when you see like large orders come in on ES and NQ, um, I'll give you an example. So like if you see an order, a lot of people don't know how to calculate this, but like if you see an order on what's it called? If you see an order on ES, so right now, the way that you would calculate the notional value of one contract of ES is you take the current price. First, you have to go. So every 25-cent move on ES is $12.50, right? So the first math that you have to do is 1250 times 5 equals 50, right? Oops, I did something wrong. 1250 times 5 equals, what am I doing? Sorry, times 4. Duh. 1250 times 4 will give you your 1 point on ES, and then you have to multiply that by the current price, which is 59.8825. So one contract of ES would cost you this much money, right? If you see an order come in for 50, that person's playing with this kind of money, right? If you see an order come in for 100, then multiply that by 2. This is institutional buying, right? So when I see orders of like 25 or 50, 75, 100, immediately thinking institutional buyers or some massive whale, right? Somebody with some big cojones. So, and you can see these orders on ES. I mean, on footprints. Like you can literally see it. I might be able to show you an example. Actually, I know that I can. I just have to find one. Let's see. Oh, I found something better. Oh, here. You guys learn this, okay? Nope. So this is not a massive order, but this is NQ and 12 right there, right? Um, I'll find one that has a big order. I know I have them. This here is insanity. When you see 0.000000000, you just slap sell, and you're gonna get like 100 points on NQ, if not more. What's this? Here we go. So this is NQ, 125 sell order, and then we can calculate the notional value of that. So I'm not going to do the math, but every 25-cent move on NQ is $5. So you multiply that by 4, you get 20, right? Multiply that by 20,767. I'm not going to do the 0.5, right? And this is the cost of one contract, and they bought 125. So we're talking basically $52 million. This is an institutional buyer, right? Here's another one. A funny guy getting 69 contracts. Or girl. I don't know. I'm not trying to be sexist. A funny person. Mm. I'm trying to look for more, but I think you guys already get the gist. I know I would have screenshots of more. It's just a matter of finding them. Mm. Hmm. Oh, making money. So here's some big orders. This is probably the same person. 5,500, 105, 5501, 74. And then this person, 65. Actually, all of this. So 501, 550, 550, 500. That's probably all the same person buying. And I don't know how many contracts that is, but I'm curious on the math. $334 contracts at 55. So multiply by 50, multiply by, we'll just say 5,500. It's almost, 92 million. Okay. You guys need me to leave this up on the screen longer? Or did you get it? Yeah, so for people that are talking about those wicks, the fact that I see it on TradingView and on Webull basically confirms that they are real. They're not misprints. So that's some pretty wild. I mean, that's just crazy. And then, I mean, it just shows how amazing I am, right? Because, like, this was my buy zone here. I don't remember exactly where, but it was, like, right around here somewhere. Not that high, but yeah, you get the idea. Um, my buy zone was, like, right here somewhere. So all you had to do was just grab it each time. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm really joking. Um, all right. So this is very different than what I normally look at, but I'm feeling pretty bullish going into tomorrow. I think if we break over here, retest this zone, you'll want to be in calls, and I would be looking to close in through this area I have highlighted here. It's not a very big move, but it's some money. I don't know. I'm not very excited about tomorrow. I think we're going to have a pretty choppy day tomorrow, frankly. I could be wrong, but yeah. Here. Um, Let me reevaluate what I'm doing here. All right. Oh, I did not mean to do that. I'm gonna just say I'm not super in love with the idea of trading tomorrow based on what I see. I would highly recommend tuning in at 6 and see what Shorty has to say, and then just apply that to SPY. He'll cover ES, and on ES you can always use the SPY SPX ES price to give you your okay to give you your SPY levels. Um, but to me, it just looks like it's going to be choppy tomorrow. Um, but they could also just keep running this up even higher. But I am not particularly loving it. All right. Um, I'm going to go post this really quick. And then I'm going to call it a night. And then Shorty will be live in a little bit. And then I got to go fix my son's guitar. I just hope they don't invalidate the FSLR levels, because I think this will be a nice. Um, you're getting just from the entry to the first trim, you're getting 3.5 points. Should be a nice trade. All right. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Saturday might be a good day to wipe everything and start fresh. So hopefully we get to do that this week. I apologize that I couldn't do it this weekend. Worst case, I should be able to do it this coming Sunday. So, alrighty. So with that said, much love, much respect to everybody. As always, a huge thanks to... oh, wait, sorry. I'm reading what Jay's Trade asked. How does Shorty usually use the delta volume profile? Is he looking for a specific number? You'd have to ask him, Jay's. Like, I know how I use delta. I don't know if Shorty's looking for something specific. And he also trades ES, and I tend to trade NQ. So, it's kind of hard for me to answer for somebody else. I mean, me and Shorty are close, but I don't really talk to him like in that kind of detail, in that in depth on charts. Like, I do my own thing, and he's doing his own thing. Anyway, so as always, huge thanks to the subscribers. Extra big thanks to the friends of the stream. Extra thanks to all the people that chit chat, keep things interesting. If you're new, basically 5 days a week, we go over SPY, what we're looking at for the next day. If I see option setups, I'll share those as well. I will say, I didn't show this, but we have a very high win rate on our option trades. And all of these can be confirmed because all of them were called out before the moves happened. But you could see way more wins than losses. And this is all the way back to February. And then a few times a night, like a few times a week, my mentor will go over futures, and generally like once or twice a month, we go over classes and do actual education on trading and teaching how to trade. So if you enjoyed the content and you're new, I would love a subscribe. If you feel like it's valuable and you want to continue watching. With that said, much love, much respect, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out.